Johnny did good.
One by one, do you think? Jump around. Sounds good. All right, I think I'm ready when you are.
That's rider can do
This?
I thought it would have got
as long as I'm like close to you.
Perfect.
One more seat.
Yeah, we'll see if I blow it up.
No, Manny.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. There's water in the creek. Let's cool it down.
Did you ride it?
Yeah, like 30 minutes. It has more bottom end than my two-stroke, so I'd probably be better off.
Joshy.
But that thing
Who's the guy with the Gold Creek Lodge shirt on the left?
I got a 265 pin there for Donner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think so.
You gonna try it before?
Yeah, well, I rode it at some of my house.
Did you guys figure out?
That's about
Mark
it.
Fernandez.
But what if I like the four-stroke?
Donner would be good.
Okay. Cool.
That's
That'd
probably
be pretty plain. But I talked to Matt, and he said they're taking some of the AA hill stuff out.
That's like
Shitty.
shitty.
I hate that shit. Just like the scree fields here, I hate it.
It's kind of my jam.
Scree fields?
I'm waiting. Somebody waiting.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Here we go. All right, here we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 Toyota Silver Kings Hard Enduro presented by Climb. Glad to have you all here. It's pretty exciting. There's a lot of you, and I just thought it was important to get a wide spread and give everybody a voice. Pretty exciting. Best riders in the world. The rest of the world versus the U.S. guys. That'll be exciting. You got home turf. Max will get into that. We have 3 sitting current FIM world champions sitting here. We got Billy Bolt from Super Enduro. We have Manny Lettenbichler, Hard Enduro, and we also have the junior FIM Super Enduro Mark Fernandez champion, and then just a host of other assassins. We have the original Silver King winner Keith Curtis, local homeboy, knows the mountain, and it's going to be exciting. So Max is going to bump some questions off, and we'll go back and forth, and feel free, and welcome. Glad to have you all here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Check. Thank you, Mr. James. Just as he said, super stoked to have everybody here. Thanks for being patient with me. I've never done this before, so excited to get to chat with you and ask you guys some questions and give you guys a voice. We all want to hear what you have to say and your opinions on money, FIM stuff, racing here in the States. So speak freely and let's have some fun. Mr. Wade. I'm probably just going to go down the line, if that's cool, and just ask each one of you a couple questions and try to keep things simple, get some info out there.
Lean in.
Don't pull my cord.
Wade, I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to ask a lot of similar questions to everybody, but what's your perspective on Erzberg and Romaniacs not being part of the World Championship? Is it good? Is it bad? How do you feel about it?
Good question. I think where Hard Enduro is, it's in a place that it's professional and amateur at the same time, and that's no disrespect to the sport. It's just that I think from the word go, Hard Enduro pretty much started out sitting at a mountain bottom, riding with mates, trying crazy stuff. Then guys doing trials, and the idea of trials coming into the bush and being extreme, and then evolving, but not evolving in one place. You know, everyone's got these ideas and have now built up independent events, and I think this is probably its biggest downfall, that it wasn't from the word go set as an official championship, or this is how we do Hard Enduro and this is what Hard Enduro is. So to put it in a bit of perspective, hard enduro can be short track, 2 hours like Erzberg, and then you got something still hard, but a 4 or 5 day event in the mountains like Romaniacs, which is more like a rally adventure. So I think just that the sport was kind of evolved, like an event like Romaniacs and Erzberg are so big on their own, which is great for them. They built their brand and made a name for themselves and done it the hard way. But they kind of want to do it their way. We have Erzberg doing it their way. And yeah, I think they're not being part of the World Championship. I think this year is a different circumstance. We lost the Hard Enduro Championship lastminute.com. And yeah, it would be nice that we get one formula going and one set of people, same like motocross, copy the sports in between.
Obviously, it's hard to make a format that works for every race, every venue, and every promoter, something different. And with that being said, what does it mean to you to have lots of money on the line here at Silver Kings? What does it change for you coming into the race?
For sure. Most of us sitting here, I think all of us are professional riders. So it's our job. It's, it's obviously being ranked as the best in the world is one thing, and making a living is another thing. And obviously, the more money involved, the more people you attract to the sport. Hey, I can actually make a living out of racing bikes, and this is a career that I find attractive, and I think it's awesome. For everyone, especially the riders, super exciting. It's a reason to train hard and see that there is actually lights at the end of the tunnel, that events can do it.
And what are your expectations coming into this weekend for yourself?
Just to do my best, Didn't have the best Erzberg, so it would be nice to come back and get a better result.
Awesome. Thank you, Wade.
Thanks.
Mr. Graham, the legend, been around longer than everybody. What does it mean for you to be here in Idaho racing Silver Kings?
Yeah, it's just cool to still be riding, still be part of it, and a new race, and it's just a chilled place. Just cruise down the road, no crash helmet, police don't care. It's cool.
I see the MKC hat. What do you have going on with them?
Yeah, I did a training school the other day and got a free hat. So what more could you want?
And what's your perspective on Erzberg and Romaniacs not being a part of the FIM World Championship?
Yeah, I think it doesn't detract their big events on their own. So just having events like this, prize money and some help, and riders just feel better coming to an event like this. I think where we're supported, and and a new race, and just looks like a cool place.
What do you think of this mountain, and is it similar to other things that you've raced before?
Well, I've probably seen every type of terrain there is. When you get to age, you've seen everything. But new type of race, new challenge. It doesn't matter about the format. I think a different format every time keeps it interesting. So it's just cool here. There's a big lap and a multi-lap as well. So you've got the best of both worlds. Good for the fans, good for the riders.
And what's your secret to longevity, health, and wellness and fitness? I feel like you're kind of a leader in the world of being old and
Pioneer
still crushing it. So what's your secret? How do you keep up with these guys and continue to beat them and perform at the level that you perform at?
Yeah, just have a boring life away from bikes. Just train, live healthy, and do what you love, keep enjoying it.
Excellent. Well, we're stoked to have you here, and we'll see you out there this weekend.
Thank you.
Tristan Hart, our U.S. Hard Enduro champion. What does it mean to you to have the Europeans, this being their first time here, and you being a 6-time winner? It's a little bit of a role reversal, this being more your home turf. Versus you going to Europe and them coming here. Does that add pressure to your performance? Does it not add pressure? What's your mindset coming in, and how do you approach that?
I don't think it adds any pressure. I know this place pretty well. I don't know if it's 6 or 5, but yeah, I've won here 3 times before. When it was Sticks and Stones, it was basically a hair scramble, and then James took it over, and the first year was like really gnarly. It was like one of the sickest races for sure. And then yeah, won it a couple times since, and he of course has the big payout, which is pretty sick. We're lucky in America. We've had that, a couple times now. And this year it's pretty much like winning a supercross race, not the manufacturer bonus, but from the event itself. So yeah, I think we're all pretty lucky here in off-road. That's like unheard of. So James is pioneering. So thank you, James. I appreciate it.
And racing tomorrow, this style of race, it's a 3-day format. What's your perspective on the 3-day format with differences? We have the prologue, and then the one big long loop, and then the multi-lap main event on Saturday. How do you think that benefits the hard enduro community, and what are you most excited about with this race this weekend?
Most excited just because it's kind of like my home race. It's only 4 hours away, and this is kind of similar to what I grew up riding. So yeah, pretty comfortable here. Always done pretty well, other than that one time I lost to the snowmobile guy here. That was a bummer. But he does ride this place pretty well. But yeah, I don't really know how the format works still. 3 days of racing though, which is really cool. Last year it was 3-2, and yeah, I think it's a good experience for the pros. If you're coming all the way from Europe to have 3 days, it makes it worth it instead of just 1 day. And for all the amateurs too, I think having 3 days is what they really want, because it kind of makes it into a vacation experience on like maybe one of the sickest places you can ride in America. So yeah, I think everyone's gonna have a lot of fun.
And you're probably the expected winner, but how does the big payout change things for you, if it does at all?
I mean, at this point, it doesn't really change anything for me. It's definitely really nice. Maybe go a little bit harder, but pretty much just got one speed, and that's that. But maybe the first time I won it, I was pretty motivated to get that 10 grand. But yeah, we'll see.
Awesome. Well, we're all very excited to see you race against everybody up here this weekend. Mr. Cody Webb, the only guy here on a Yamaha. What's it like racing a YZ250 up these mountains at elevation?
I do not know yet. I don't have an answer for you, but I'm changing it up a little bit this weekend. I will not be on the YZ250. I'll be on the 250F with the big bore. So I'll be 4-stroking it this weekend and throwing another wrench in my plans, because why not? Yeah, 4-stroking.
Well, that's very exciting. Did Johnny Walker riding the 4-stroke at Erzberg inspire you? Did it push you over the edge to ride the 4-stroke this weekend?
I'm just jealous because I had already had it planned out in my mind to ride the 4-stroke here, and I was struggling a little bit on the East Coast on the YZ at the first round at Battle of the Goats, and I think it was actually right before Moab, before I started cutting the cylinder on my bike. I compared back to back at my house, and the bone stock 250F had better, snappier bottom than the YZ, so that kind of got the gear rolling. I started ordering parts for my bike to race it at Hard Enduro when I went east, but then I got the bike figured out better, and then I got there and I realized I had a rocket ship that had the power of a light switch, so I couldn't control it. So I got the 2-stroke figured out, but it's just been something burning in my mind, whether I just want to try it. So this isn't part of our U.S. Hard Enduro Championship with our actual championship series. So this is just a really exciting one-off big Hard Enduro with the best guys in the world here. So what better place to kind of put something else to the test and see if it works or doesn't work. And hopefully I'm the one smiling at the end, realizing I made the right choice.
And 2-part question, what are you going to do to combat the heat that a 4-stroke is going to generate, and what advantages do you see the 4-stroke having here in this terrain?
Well, it was way easier for me just to put a fan on the 250F because it's already wired for it in the stock harness versus making my own wiring harness. So I got a fan on it, only one fan. I know Johnny only ran one fan at Erzberg, and he said he lost no coolant at the end of the race. So, and it just makes you go faster. Like, don't get stuck. Be a better rider. So, and the advantage I see is a lot of stuff like Milo's Creek and stuff like that up the really slick terrain. With the flywheel weight and the way the four-stroke engine is, if you can just kind of keep carrying speed through that, it just doesn't light up the rear wheel quite as easy as the YZ250 does. So I have the big bore kit on with a 293 and a Get ECU, and it really smoothed out the power from stock. So I still have like the nipples on the stock tires. So we're coming in nearly blind, but I know the bike works well, and it's proven in all other elements of racing from GNCC to motocross. So now I just have to be the one to try and prove it in hard enduro.
And you've been on the forefront of the hard enduro movement for a long time. What does it mean to have an event like Silver Kings putting up a massive purse, especially considering the changes that the FIM World Hard Enduro Series is going through? I feel like this could initiate some change in terms of getting riders paid. So what does it mean to you to have a huge payout opportunity here at Silver Kings?
Yeah, for all of us, I think it's a really special experience. My only concern is like the longevity part of it. Like, is this a sustainable system we have on board? Like, I know James pulls together some really big sponsors for this event. I think it's just really important that we keep getting the world's best here every year, so the sponsors are happy that we're getting more media and content out of it. But it's great for all of us. It's just my concern, is this something that's here to stay, or is this just, we're throwing a bunch of money at it 1 or 2 years and then it doesn't work out and we lose it. So I'd love to see it continue. I don't know what the happy medium is, but it's amazing to see what James is doing here and kind of putting all this work and effort out there to put this spectacle on. And it's one of those things, like, this is a make or break. Like, if you make it, it's gonna really shift things moving forward for all of us in our, not that I'm gonna race all the FIM series, but if it ends up making sense to do that, and he's putting his neck out there for us, it could pay off big.
Very nice, thank you. And one other question for you, Cody. What's your opinion on track walk? Would you prefer to have track walk or no track walk?
I hate track walk. I mean, I rode trials, so like, used to walk the section, but it's so different. And I think as a trials rider, and I think Graham would agree too, and Billy, there's a couple other trials riders here, probably Alfredo. At least for me, and in the U.S. Hard Enduro Series, when people were pre-riding sections of the track, I would get absolutely smoked, and then a race where no one knew what was going on, that's where I would actually be able to prove myself and my skills and reading the terrain. So it's, in hard enduro, it's more than just being fast at the hard stuff, it's reading the terrain as well, and if you know where you're going ahead of time, and it makes life easier. Now I'm a factory privateer, so I'm doing a lot more work than I used to, so it's hurting my results, I would say, but no track walk would be my favorite, best answer. And not that I'm old like Graham, but we gotta preserve our bodies.
Thank you, Cody. Tito, welcome to the stage, brother. Good to have you here. We're all very excited to watch you ride. How comfortable are you in big mountains like this?
Thanks. I'm happy to be here. I'm bringing the two-stroke. I'll be racing on a two-stroke. I don't know why Cody didn't mention me as a trial rider. Maybe I'm quite new.
Too fast.
But yeah, happy to be here.
And with the big payout, are you going to be pushing extra hard, or does it change anything for you this weekend?
Well, when I'm racing, I don't think performance-wise there will be a difference, but I appreciate the effort of James and his team. I think it's a great example of prioritizing riders and helping riders. We have seen many organizers leaving us at like the last thing. Riders, we say it like we're the circus.
Circus ponies.
So I'm very, very happy to see that change. and I appreciate it.
And coming to a venue that you've never been to before, what's your approach?
I have been one time.
Oh, you have been here?
Yeah.
Okay.
2021.
How did you do in 2021?
I finished. I don't remember. I think I was like 6th or something. But yeah, back then I did it like I just wanted to see how is it in the States. I flew here, got bike sorted from a local guy, a friend, and I just did it like this, you know, no preparation, I don't think. And now we come here with the team. I'm a mountain guy, so I like that type of format. I like to be in the mountains, in the steep hills, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Tio.
Thank you.
Sandra Gomez, world leader in women's hard enduro. It sounds like James has put in efforts to bring other women into this race. And what could the promoter of the FIM World Series do to bring more women into the sport of hard enduro?
Well, it's very hard to be competitive with all these guys. I've been racing with them a lot of times. Usually every race, and it's so good to have a women's pro class here in silver class. It's so hard to be competitive with different stars, different body, no, at least, and to be racing with girls for me is is so exciting. So from James, I think he did a really good job because it's hard to be professional in this sport for a woman. I try. But with people like James bringing us, helping us to go, I think it's a way to make it a little bit easier and to have girls, because we are girls, there is girls racing hard enduro. I've been doing a lot of training all over the world. But always is the same history, you know. We have no chance to go because it's so expensive, and even it's more if you want to be competitive. So James bring us some girls, and we really go to enjoy it and really go to do everything in the mountains to be an amazing riders and competitive riders.
Thank you, Sandra. And what are you most excited about this weekend here at Silver Kings?
Well, for me, you know, to come to US is always good. I did my dream come true like 10 years ago racing endurocross, but always to come to US is nice. I have good friends, and here in this place I think the race is gonna be so good. The place is awesome. We've been doing laps all over the world, and for me, this is one of my favorite places. Everything is nice, the people is nice, there is many riders, and racing with these people and being here once a year minimum is so good, no? So I will do my best.
Thank you, Sandra.
Long legs. I had no problem.
Keith Curtis, your local event has officially been bombarded by the world. How does that change your approach, if at all, to this race? And what's it been like to see this event grow to the point where it's at now versus when you first started racing this race?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, the talent pool here is unreal. And I've been able to race with a bunch of these guys scattered throughout my racing career on motorcycles, which is hit and miss everywhere. I remember getting passed by Billy like I was standing still in Romaniacs in 2016, and racing with Manny and watching Alfredo lap the other side of Carl's dinner. I mean, had a lot of really cool memories with Cody and a lot of these guys, and Tristan. So it's just cool. Like this sport is really intriguing to me. We all love this pain of going really hard and putting our body and bikes to the ultimate test. And it's cool what James has done with this race. I mean, I started racing this years ago, and And then I've had a lot of conversations with James over the last couple of years, and it's going exactly where he wants it to go, and I think it's going in the direction where all racers want it to go. It's a beautiful venue. If you're getting through 10th place here, you're doing really good. You're doing really, really good. And the payout, I mean, it's well deserved. These guys are working hard. I mean, they're training hard. I've been able to see it, watch it, and race against these guys and see the levels just step up over the years. And it's cool to see it and be part of it. It's a lot of fun. I'm just that snowmobile guy here to have a good time.
Excellent. And what does being the snowmobile guy, what advantages do you have here on this mountain being the snowmobile guy?
I'm used to a lot of power. I mean, our mod race sleds weigh around 400 pounds and they have 240 horsepower. So I mean, you talk mega horsepower with those things. And I like hill climbing a lot. I mean, that's my forte in snowmobile racing. So kind of excited about the start. That'll be cool. Drag race up the mountain. That'll be a good time. And then I know this mountain decently for sure. I've ridden most of it again and again. Got lost a time or two, but you know, for the most part, I know it pretty well. I love the terrain. The creeks are fun. The hill climbs are fun. This North Idaho forest is a good time, and it's considered a local race for me, so it's going to be a good time.
Thank you, Keith. Well, I know the locals, myself, and everybody around me are very excited to watch you race against all these guys.
Thanks, man.
Mr. Mario, very nice to have you here. I know that this is a lot of travel for all of the foreign racers, so it means a lot that you guys are here. I was curious to hear your perspective on the changes going on with the FIM World Championship and what it means to have Erzberg and Romania as single standing races and what that means for the rest of the FIM World Championship.
Hello everybody, so happy to be here. I had the opportunity to be in 2021 in this race and I had a lot of fun, so super cool to be back and see that now it's part of the World Championship. About the championship, I think it's good that we make a last decision and we find a way to run the series at the end of April. I think they announced. So I think for this year is fine, but I think it's too early to know if it's good or not. But for sure, I think everybody is happy that something is running and we have a championship and we are racing and showing our potential in a lot of countries. So yeah, I think it's more positive than negative, and I am stoked to be here in US for the round 2 of the World Championship.
Well, we're stoked to have you, and it means a lot for the whole US-based hard enduro scene here to have to have riders from all over the world competing. At a race like this, a 2-day, 3-day format, what do you see your strengths and weaknesses being at a format like this?
I think it's good because you have to be a good rider in all the disciplines. First in super enduro, then the next day is like a long loop, and then the last day is multi-lap, which I like a lot. So I think, I don't know how it works, if it's point or the overall time, but still you have to be full gas every day, and I think this is gonna bring good show for the spectators and it's gonna be good.
What are you most excited about here at Silver Kings?
Well, when I came 2021, I had good battle with Cody and Tristan. I show up in this race privateer with my friends and I end up losing by 6 seconds with Tristan. He passed me at the very end. So yeah, I enjoy a lot. It's similar than Andorra, ski mountains, and you have a bit of everything, loose rocks, you have rivers, a lot of steep hill climbs, also sketchy downhills. So I think it's the perfect place to ride hard enduro, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, definitely.
Excellent. And how does the travel and logistics affect your ability to perform here in the States?
I think it went well because, yeah, being factory, you don't have to worry a lot. We worry a little because the bikes just show up 2 hours ago. So last minute, but yeah, I think it was all right. We are used to travel the whole world and it worked pretty well.
Thank you, Mario.
Thank you.
Billy Bolt, super stoked to have you here. Obviously, a little bit of role reversal. You come into the States to race versus U.S.-based riders coming over to Europe to race. What are you most excited about here at Silver Kings?
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's great to be here. I think it's just quite cool. It obviously doesn't happen too much, you know. I mean, it's difficult. There's only so many weekends in a year, and obviously, each kind of event organizer or championship, let's say, has to kind of put themselves first. So it's a shame it can only happen kind of a few times a year where we come here and the US guys come to us. But I think we just need to make the most of the fact that we're here and make the best of it. But I'm excited to be here. It's always nice to head to a new race and new terrain, and I really haven't done too much riding or racing in the US at all, minus the few times I've been to TKO. I haven't done any other races in US, and I've always felt very well received and had a lot of support every time I have came out to the US. So hopefully have the same kind of effect and same support here on the West Coast.
Thank you. And watching you ride a four-stroke at the Super Enduros is obviously something very special. Would you consider riding a four-stroke at a hard enduro event?
Yeah, I've had numerous lengthy conversations with various people, and I think I get the whole two-stroke, four-stroke debate, but to me, I think you can do the same on either bike. Both bikes are more than capable of doing discipline. I've tested both on a super enduro track, and despite feeling better on one than the other, the lap times are more or less identical. I haven't done too much hard enduro on a four-stroke. I mean, there's days when it's been raining or whatever, and I've took my super enduro training bike into the mountains and stuff, and equally, it's kind of surprised us how well it performs every time. I think it's mainly just down to the fact that no one's really took that step. Obviously, it sounds like Cody is now in the position Johnny in. He's doing it also. So I think once a few people spend a bit of time and really set a bike up properly, I think there's areas where it's going to be a big advantage. Obviously, areas where it's going to struggle. But I think to me the kind of whole debate is not overrated, but there's not really much of a debate to me. Really, I think you can do the same on either.
Well, that's really good information. And what's your perspective on the current state of the FIM World Championship? And it's obviously going through a transitionary phase right now with trying to figure out points and how to score these races and how to give points towards a championship with various formats. So what's your perspective on the FIM World Championship and the format of this race?
How long do we have for an answer? No, but I think, as you said, it's in a transitional period, and I think it's in a needed transitional period. I think the direction things were heading wasn't, in my opinion, the right one. I feel like the sport was kind of, at least at the professional level at the top end, was kind of getting smaller, and opportunities were appearing to be less and less. So I think you have to be open-minded and give the new guys and the new promotion a fair chance. From the experience I've had with them so far, they're very open to listen and take on everyone's kind of feedback. Obviously, I think this year, with everything happened so late, there was only kind of so much that could be done, and I think to salvage any kind of championship this year was always going to be difficult. So I think the patience is kind of needed for this year. But like I say, I think there's it is a good opportunity now that it can start to push to feel like in the right direction. I think everyone kind of has their own opinion on exactly what that direction is, but to me it's like the athletes that's in the sport and the kind of racing that the sport provides is such a good base that it hasn't been getting the kind of the coverage and the growth that I feel like it deserves. So like I say, if it can start heading in a direction where there's manufacturers are getting involved, there's teams involved, and there's, you know, kind of the, I feel like the support that it deserves. That's hopefully, yeah, that's going to happen. That can happen at least.
And what do you see the growth of U.S. hard enduro, or of world and U.S. hard enduro looking like in terms of, is it more spectators? Is it more amateur riders? Is it more exposure and media and setting up the courses so that there's more spectators and media? Where do you see the growth of the sport going?
Yeah, I think then it becomes quite tricky. You know, everyone kind of has their own opinion. My personal opinion is that there kind of needs to be more standardization and more consistency throughout events in terms of structures and formats and stuff like that. And I get fully that's not to the benefit really of the masses, the hobby riders, at the end of the day, the people that really are kind of the foundations of our sport. But I feel like, you know, at the real top end now, that to be a kind of serious professional championship, there needs to be kind of some form of structure just to allow ease to follow the championship and to follow the sport. And like I say, the sport came from a place what was amazing, where, like, you know, 400 people could turn up and hobby guys and pro guys could all race together. But I think the more serious it gets at the top end, the more difficult it then becomes to keep everybody happy at the same event. So I feel like it kind of needs to head in a way which isn't probably going to make decisions to please the masses, but to me the aim of the target has to be to grow the sport at the top level, and to try and, you know, get more eyes on it, get, you know, the races live coverage from start to finish, so people can really start to then follow along. And like I say, because the racing and the athletes that's involved in the sport deserves to kind of have that full-time coverage, and the fans at home to be able to follow along kind of every step of the way.
Excellent, thank you. And with you guys are obviously used to racing for a rock, or pretty much nothing. So how does it feel to be supported by the promoters with a big payout opportunity?
Yeah, it's nice. I think it just gives everybody, you know, an all-round more positive outlook towards the event. You know, at the end of the day, we're all racers. We're gonna race regardless of what's on the line. You know, like I think nobody's midway through a race thinking about the prize money or thinking about, you know, what's coming afterwards. We race because we want to race and we want to do our best. But just to know that, you know, we've been thought of and that is there, I think, yeah, it just gives a nice positive outlook on the event. And also from my side, like, it shows as a blueprint to other events and stuff, like, it is possible. It is possible to get big name brands involved, and like it's possible to sell the sport, which again, like, it not to always bring it back to being about money, but at the same time, at some point decisions kind of feel like have to be made for the top level to keep growing.
Do you think that this large payout will incentivize or pressure other promoters to offer bigger payouts or payouts at all?
Yeah, hopefully. Again, I don't think pressurized might sound a bit intimidating, but like, to me, it just shows like it's possible, and it can be done. You know, there's in my mind, you know, you look at the profiles and the athletes that's involved in the sport, and to me, it is sellable, and it's kind of a sport that provides, you know, guaranteed entertainment and guaranteed good racing. So no, hopefully other events kind of see the blueprint, and also, I guess, see the riders' attitudes and feelings towards it. Like, I feel like everybody is kind of in a pretty upbeat mood today. Like, we're all somewhat bonking on jet lag now, but like, everyone, I feel like, just has a positive outlook towards the event. And you know, obviously James has really put his money on the line and stepped up. It doesn't even, I mean, I'm happy if it does go to that level for every event, but like, just the starting point is a rock. So like, any kind of improvement, it doesn't take much to improve from a rock. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, the pod's been obviously set pretty high at this event, but I think, yeah, like, any kind of effort in that direction is going to be, you know, well received for most guys.
Thanks a lot, Billy.
No problem.
Alfredo, welcome to the United States. We're all very excited to have you here. What does it mean to you to be racing here in Idaho as a world round, and what is your current perspective on the FIM World Championship?
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, as you said. All the friends I have around helping to put together a good team to race. Thank you, James, for all the effort you made with this. About the race, I've been here last year and I had a very good time, some bike problems, but apart of that, this type of terrain, I really like it a lot. And yeah, that super enduro we have, I always do well in prologues, so very excited for that. And we'll see a long lap on Friday, more or less what we did last year, I believe. I like it, and the multi-lap format, I like it too. So let's see how my hand holds, and just enjoy.
And what do you think your strengths will be on the mountain this weekend?
My what, sorry?
Your strengths.
Well, I will try to have fun, like always, have good racing, good battles with the guys. Hopefully everybody's healthy at the end of the day, and we can enjoy racing, good racing for us and for the spectators.
And what is your perspective on track walk? Track walk, yes. Track walk, no.
Track walk, no. Nah, I think more or less like Cody said, change a lot if you know where are you going or where are you not going, or how long is till the end or not. So that's the main thing. And also money ways, as everybody talks, if we have to come here 1 or 2 days earlier to walk the whole mountain, it's money too. So I would like to not track walk.
Thank you very much. And I'd like to actually ask Billy and Mario the same question. What's your guys' take on track walk?
No track walk necessary.
Yeah, I agree with everything. And like Alfredo said, like Esper, when we used to walk all the mine, then we used to travel on Saturday the week before. So it was like, I don't know, 70 kilometers hiking. So yeah, make no really sense the weekend before a race.
Thank you, guys.
Anybody like track walk?
Whoever, raise your hand if you want track walk. No track walk.
Clip that up.
Clip that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alfredo. Mark, welcome to the United States. What are you most excited about being here in Idaho for Silver Kings?
I don't know, it's just everything is so exciting, you know, American style. I'm enjoying a lot here. I even shoot a gun for the first time last week, so.
What gun did you shoot?
I just expect everything to improve from here.
What gun did you shoot?
I don't even know what it like a
Salt gun.
yeah, Glock, yeah.
What's your favorite part about the U.S. so far?
Oh, for the moment, surfing on the boat. But no, seriously, I think the mountains are very nice to ride, and yeah, definitely looking forward to it, and I think I'm gonna enjoy a lot.
Excellent. We're all very excited to watch you race this weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mattie Green, welcome. Stoked to have you here. How's it been coming to the United States and getting prepared and dealing with the logistics and getting things sorted? Obviously, you don't have full factory support, so how has it been logistically getting settled here in Idaho?
Yeah, thanks for having me in America. I really like coming here, and it's been pretty easy logistically. Luckily, the guys from Gold Creek Lodge have looked after me quite nicely, so they fetched me from the airport. Had a bike there, got a nice house to stay in, everything I needed for the bike I put on, and yeah, just a bit of jet lag. I think we all have it. Some people are quite tired, and yeah, should be a bit better tomorrow, but happy to have a good crew. I'm actually staying with Mark as well, so I've been on the shooting guns and surfing behind the boat the last 2 days. It's been pretty cool. So.
Well, welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying your time here. And what are you most excited about being here at Silver Kings and getting to rip this mountain tomorrow?
I'm excited for Friday because I did the race 2 years ago and we rode the long loop pretty much. These mountains are huge. You get up to the top, it's pretty cool riding in a ski resort and up the big ski pieces, and yeah, it's nice riding up there. Some crazy riding if I remember well. Me and Alfredo rode quite a bit together that year, and yeah, it was quite difficult and pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to Friday, and I think Saturday, Josh said that they've put in quite a few new sections for the loop, and I'm sure that'll make for some good racing. So yeah, it's just nice to be in America. I like it a lot.
Well, we're happy to have you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's Mitch, right? Mitch Brightmore in the building. Mitch, welcome to the United States. Obviously, this is your first time at this race. What's your approach coming to a new to you venue? How do you approach that, and what's your perspective on coming to Silver Kings for the first time?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm pretty new to this game. I've only been in this game like 4 or 5 years, so I'm pretty used to coming to new races. And yeah, just take everything as it comes, enjoy the ride, and yeah, I'm just happy to be in America.
Excellent. And what do you think that your strengths and weaknesses will be this weekend on the mountain?
To be honest, I don't really know what the mountain's like. I went for a little ride this afternoon. Feels pretty loose. But yeah, hopefully the track's pretty technical on the Saturday, sorry. And yeah, just look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Matt. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yep. Manny Lettenbichler, stoked that you're here. I know myself and everybody is very excited to have you and all your friends here to race. Obviously, a little bit of role reversal this weekend. You stepping into U.S. familiar terrain without being here before. How does that change your approach, if at all, to racing this weekend?
Yeah, first of all, I'm stoked to be here. First time, like you just said, I'm coming to Silver Kings. I was here like 10 years ago in Idaho, just visiting climb back in the days, which was actually a pretty cool trip. So yeah, stoked to be back. And like you said, new races, I think for everybody is kind of interesting. And I think a lot of guys who are here now are also just the first time here, and yeah, pretty excited to get up the mountain and see how it looks. But already from the outside, you're pretty well hyped. It's a bit more like European style, I would say, compared to the rest of America where I was. So that's going to be pretty interesting, and we just take race by race basically. So there's not much difference compared to 2 weeks ago to Würzburg.
And how do you like the cumulative point system with 3 points on the prologue, and then it sounds like 10 on Friday and then 10 on Saturday?
Yeah, we had a good discussion this morning with the FM and just some in general with the organizers, how we can really make it the clearest for everybody, the clearest for the outside, the clearest for the riders, and I think we definitely came up with a good plan. I think James definitely gonna say something about this in the riders briefing, so this is gonna be pretty interesting. But I think it's way more clear than it was at the beginning. So yeah, new point system. I think it's gonna really bring up a little bit of a change into the championships, like Billy said already before, that it's a good moment to like change something to make it better. And this we're all here for. Like, this is the main goal, to make the sport bigger, to make the races better, to really see what's capable and how good and how cool hard enduro is. And I think to come up with new ideas and new plans for the World Championship in general, I think is always pretty interesting. The US Hard Enduro Series is doing pretty well right now, and it looks quite cool from the outside. So yeah, it would be definitely cool if we can also step it up and have a solid championship the next couple of years with some big sponsors and some good consistency racing.
Thank you very much. And obviously, you are used to getting awarded with a rock for winning the biggest hard enduro event in the world. And what does that feel like to only win a rock compared to having the opportunity to win lots of money here at Silver Kings?
Pretty shit. It's literally just a rock. There is quite a lot of sure honor and pride for it, but at the end is a rock. And sure, it has a good place in the house and in the garage. So there's quite a few now at my place, which is pretty cool. Also to have another 8 from my dad there. So they're literally just all around the house, everywhere. So yeah, collecting them sure would be also nice to make some prize money maybe at this race. But it's really cool what James did at this literally at the Silver Kings Hard Enduro, because we don't race so often for so much prize money, and we can really step up another game. And I think for everybody it's just a cool thing. But at the end also we just don't really think about the money while racing. It's a pretty cool add-on, and I think for a lot of racers, and it's a lot of help also because everybody can literally win this race, and there's so many plans and so many things can happen. But yeah, really, really cool to see that the sport is having like this prize money in it, because it's definitely worth it, and everybody really earns it, because it is pretty hard out there, and we're really working our ass off to get there in the front and be there in the front. So yeah, stoked to see this happening of the whole crew of the Silver Kings Hard Enduro.
Awesome. And this Silver Kings Mountain encompasses all the most exciting aspects of hard enduro. It has slippery, wet rivers, long hill climbs, big rock fields. What excites you most about Silver Kings Hard Enduro?
If I'm to be honest, I don't really have a plan so much. Like, I didn't even watch the single race from the last couple of races, or like from the last couple of years. So I just saw a bunch of highlight videos now. I saw you guys, or like you, literally just struggling up a riverbed, which looked pretty cool. So yeah, let's see. I think it's a bit more like a good mix from like a ski resort style, maybe Arbestone, a bit of racing. I think it looks a little bit like Romaniacs also from the riverbeds and like from the uphills. So yeah, I'm excited to go up there on Friday and really see how it looks from the top, because right now you can't really tell it. It's cool scenery and cool mountains around it, and I absolutely love the mountains. So I'm feeling definitely a bit back home. But if you're up there, everybody's saying the view is stunning. So stoked to get up there and find some hard and cool shit to ride on.
Thank you. And one other question for you, and I would like to open the floor up to anybody that wants to weigh in on this. What's your perspective on action cameras not being allowed on the helmet at the FIM World Hard Enduros?
That's gonna be a big question, Sam. Yeah, definitely. I think we should bring it back, if I'm to be honest. The visor, I think, is a good piece where it could be mounted and is not a part of the literally of the helmet. And I know that there's a lot of helmet brands who are like trying to find a solution and really already make a mount, which is coming maybe with this. For sure, there's always uncertainty with it. And for us right now, we're in this stage where we want to show the coolest pictures, we want to show the coolest POV, and I think, where is it? Just on the head. But yeah, I think it has both sides on it, but would be pretty cool to bring it back in one way. And you never know, there's quite a lot of changes, and maybe it's also a change to make the sport cooler and let it look cooler also.
Thank you very much. It does seem strange that everybody wants to grow the sport, but then there's powers that be that want to restrict certain things that would grow the sport, like
it's just for safety, it's for safety. But I think we riders agree in some ways also that we know what to do, and we risk your life, or we risk our life every day in racing. So there's always some things can happen. You could run over the street and get hit by a car, basically. So maybe filming yourself, but there's everything can happen, and I think everybody knows the risk of the sport, and it's definitely
yeah, hard enduro.
And is the visor idea a response to the no action cams because the visor can break away with the camera if you go down?
Most of the helmets anyways now, like there's so many magnetic pieces, even safety reasons wise, like in different helmets. So I think they already think about the different brands. Fox is also working on a little thing already. The new Rampage I think is coming up with like the downhill helmet is coming up with a little GoPro piece which is helping it to mount it, so that's pretty cool, which actually comes if you buy the helmet already with it. So yeah, we see where the sport goes, we see where the brands may be going, because at the end is the brands who really have to work on it, and yeah, we see what the future brings. But yeah, good questions when you already started with weight straight into the championship.
And how do you see the growth of the sport looking in the future?
I think it's definitely seeing more races where it's a bit more spectator friendly and where we can really broadcast it maybe live. I think we always go to some races where you're like ending up and you say, this is a pretty good race. This fits into the championship, this doesn't fit into the championship. This is maybe where we can really push for it and make the race better. And if you make a race better, it also, the sports gets bigger, and it's all about now still racing on the highest level, but then you still almost need a camera in front of your head and yourself, or like just get content out there and show the people how crazy hard enduro is, and just getting into newspapers, getting into live TV. Like there's so many different ways now to show and to make the sport bigger, but I think it's all about really trying to have races where it's just spectator friendly also, and where you really random guys can show up there because one friend is telling them, hey man, there's a race going on, it's pretty cool to watch, you want to come? And he's like, what race is it? Hard enduro? I've never heard about it, but let's just check it out. And if these people get into the sport, then it also grows. So yeah, quite curious, and I think the sport is definitely on a side where we can make it better, and we definitely, I hope we go into the right direction, because it's such a cool sport and everybody loves it who's sitting there. So we're all working on it to make it bigger.
Thanks a lot, Manny. And Billy, I saw you guys looking at each other when you're talking about the action cameras. Do you feel like weighing in on your opinion about the action cameras on the helmet?
Just looking at it, I think me and Manny have kind of further restrictions than everybody else. But again, like I feel like I get the safety aspect and the reason that rule was put there, but then I also feel like that rule's been there for a good number of years now, and the development of helmets and the technology involved is also advanced, at a pretty fast rate. And like Manny says, I think the visor is, like a strong gust of wind, and the visors are breaking off these days. So like I think if it is, it's something that needs to be kind of relooked at to me, because it's something, obviously a lot of parts of our tracks and our sport isn't quite accessible to everybody, and it's just a large chunk of every race which is missing. I think look at the one sport, like the one race where it seems to be allowed, which happened kind of 2 weeks ago, and the views and the numbers that one race does to kind of everybody's channels is like, it's such a great big hole that gets left in terms of at every event. And like I say, I feel like the rule was put in place a long time ago, and there's a lot changed since then, and I don't feel like it's kind of been as looked into as much as it should have.
And is there a way around this rule? Is there a way that we can work with the FIM somehow to get this rule re-looked at, or is it something that's open for discussion, or is it just shut down every time that it's brought up?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not in them discussions. I think there's still more could be done as well. I mean, a lot of sports kind of do use cameras on the bikes and stuff like that, which I think could also be looked at more. I think, you know, like, especially, you know, if it is just to capture that small part of the race, whether it be an important crash where the lead, or a pass for the lead, or a crash which resulted in somebody losing the lead and stuff like that. So, like, to me, for the sport to kind of head in the direction it needs to go, we need to know kind of everything that happened, and every single mistake from somebody needs to be documented, and every crash, every overtake. Like, we need to be able to show everything. And you know, if we have a camera on the headlight and a camera facing forward and a camera on the rear mudguard facing backwards, it might produce 3 hours. Some race it might produce 3 hours of footage that no one's going to watch, and it gets put in the bin. But if at one race you capture an overtake for the lead, which then decides a world championship, like, to me, that's worth for the effort it would be to put on there. So I think there's definitely, even within the rules, there's areas that things could be done. But like I say, I feel like that's kind of one of the areas where I feel like in the previous, where the championship was and stuff, it was kind of like, no, cameras aren't allowed on helmets, and then it gets forgotten about. The whole kind of POV onboard stuff, just discussion goes nowhere. So I think that's one area where I definitely feel the new guys have got a good opportunity. You know, I think the helmet discussion is going to be a long kind of uphill one, but to me, there's still kind of areas where things can get better, you know, like whether it be, like I say, just to get that one overtake or that one clip. But at the end of the day, like, if that's what tells the story of how the championship, and if that's, we want fans that are going to follow along and going to be desperate to know every single thing that happened at every race, and if that's what shows them it, then you know, that's only going to benefit.
It does seem like a key ingredient to the growth of the sport, considering the fact that a lot of these races you'll be out for hours at a time and nobody will be able to see you. So having cameras on the riders seems critical in promotion of the sport. Is the chest mount an option? And
I think we kind of said 2 years ago that we're not going to use it anymore. I mean, it was allowed, but that also kind of, to me, it's not allowed to be put on the helmet for safety, but you can put it on the chest. That defeats the kind of whole argument, the safety argument of it, to me. But I feel like, yeah, for the footage you get, especially now also because of FIM regulations, chest and back protectors are mandatory. So to put a chest back protector on, plus with, you know, your hydration system, and then for me it's kind of too much going on, and it's not kind of worth it becomes restrictive. That's the thing, obviously. Like, no one's going to want to impede themselves or like affect their performance negatively. Like, some guys, I think, don't mind it so much, but for me it wasn't worth it. And also, if we accept it on my chest, then there's no reason for the rule to be changed to put it back on the helmet as well. That was kind of the other deciding factor.
thank you very much. That's about all that I have. If anybody else has anything that they'd want to say, please grab the microphone and speak up. And I'm going to open up the floor. Anybody that has any questions, grab this mic and rip it. Does anybody have any questions?
Good job, Max. Well done.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
That's a wrap. Thank you, Max. You did a great job. Thank you for everyone being patient. I know we had quite a crew, but so many of you traveled, a lot of ways to be here. A lot of you your first time, and just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to be seen and be heard. And we put together one hell of an event for you guys. So we're pretty excited with the format, and the mountain's looking big, the mountain's looking gnarly, and we're gonna get it on. So thank you for all being here.
Nice, that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying.
I know, that's why I like it. If I can get it done. This way you go? Yeah. Go.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Fucking good questions, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Full on report.